Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we got to talk about a few things, Tesla being one of them, and then one of them you have to ask yourself before you start investing, and it can help you in times like this. As always, grab your phone, grab your tablet, grab whatever it is you're watching this on. Make sure that you go and hit the share button. I am doing that right now. Now my phone is good and set and everything. Turn down the volume, and there we go. All right. So I'll be monitoring for any questions, comments, things of that nature here. Now, the first thing that we'll get to is the CEO. Before you invest in any company, you want to ask yourself, who is the CEO? Take a quick look. Like, for example, one of the things I brought up to you guys about Disney CEO was Bob Iger, and they switched him out. He stepped down. He's still on the board and doing some other things, but that was a red flag for me because who runs the company can help determine how well the company does and what they do and what happens with the stock price. This is why I'm not a big investor or a big believer in Tesla. I understand that it is one of the best stocks of the past 6, 7, 8 years. But really, when you really break down the math, and we talked about this the other day, I've talked about it on my Twitter page, that in reality, it's really been like the last 6 or 7 months where the stock price just soared almost out of nowhere. But even on Robinhood and other sites, it's been one of the most popular stocks for quite some time, regardless of the company hasn't actually made that much money. Well, the question again that you need to ask yourself is who's the CEO and are they okay? And I can't do Tesla. I can't do it because Elon Musk is he just throws too many red flags for me. So number one, last year I believe no, it might have been 2018 where he had some issues. He had said some things about the stock that he wasn't supposed to say, and the SEC actually fined him, and the stock dropped, and there were some issues. But basically, I can't invest in a company, put my money and faith in a company when that CEO can at any time say anything stupid and cause the stock to drop to no fault of my own or to the actual company and what they do. So we're going to take a look here and you'll see that randomly, out of nowhere, this man tweets, I think the stock is too high, in my opinion. And as you see here, the stock dropped 11% in a day. And I'll scroll right here, and here's the actual tweet this morning. And boom, just like that, stock drops. Why did he say it? We don't know. What is the issue with the stock? And then what other problems could there be? So I mentioned earlier that he had problems with the SEC. I've actually covered a video on that back in 2018 or whenever. Oh, yeah, August 2018. So we actually covered this and he was punished for it. And you can read that there. He said that he wanted to take the stock to 420 per share. Again, this is kind of like really bad insider trading type things where you say, I want to get the stock to this point, which investors like me and you or others could say, look, well, if he wants to get the stock there, let me get in now and hopefully it rises to that point. Now, in this case, he actually did. But when you put that information out and you're the CEO, those are red flags. So because he did this, this could be another SEC violation. If he thinks the stock price is too high, we know the stock is going to fall. So what does that mean? Is he trying to buy them back lower? What is he trying to do with the stock? Is he shorting? All types of really bad things that could be happening. But again, if I'm a long-term investor in Tesla or just a general investor, I don't want the CEO up here talking, losing me money left and right. This is not a place that you want to be as an investor unless you like that kind of stuff. But you guys have seen my list. You can go back years and years and watch all the videos. Tesla came up not a one time. And, and this is why I'm not a big fan of celebrity CEOs. I'm not a big fan of people who talk too much. Run the company and make me money. Don't get up here talking and running your mouth and lose stuff left and right. Now, again, we know that Tesla stock was really high. If you ask me, it probably was too high because it didn't make any sense as to why it rose the way that it did. Again, you can go back to my Twitter page and see when it just peaked and spiked for no real reason. Again, I don't know why. It doesn't matter why. You would have made money if you had it before December 2019. But is that not all stocks that rise are the stocks for you? And that's the thing that you have to start to know and remember. Remember, we've talked about this before too. You don't have to jump on every single great stock that's out there, and you don't have to hit a home run every single time. So these are the things that you want to be aware of before you just jump into stuff. When it comes to generational wealth, which we are talking about next Wednesday, that is 6th. Again, you can sign up. We still have a few early bird tickets left. But before you invest, again, for yourself, or you're investing for a niece, a nephew, son, daughter, whomever, you want to make sure that you are doing the best you can. So check out the CEO. Ask Google who the CEO is and just see what comes up. If it's stuff that's sketchy, stuff like this, you may want to stay out of it. If it's something that's clean, that's decent, they've had a good history in the past, then you're probably in a good place. And then you can do additional research from there. So again, for me, I'm not a big fan of Tesla. I've always had a very bad feeling about it. And most of that has come from the CEO from as long as I've been aware of the stock. And it's stuff like this that can make or break your portfolio. Because if you had invested in Tesla, years ago, you're probably still fine. But if you just jumped on it 2, 3, 4 days ago, and now you've lost 11%, you're probably just going to head out because we don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. And once the SEC does get a hold of this, and they will at some point, it could go down even further. I'm not calling it a crash. I doubt that it will. It could go up in the future. We don't know. But I can tell you this: when it's me and my money, I can't just bet my money or invest in something with somebody who says stuff like this. And this is not the first time. This is at least the second in the last 2 years. So anytime before you invest, you always want to know how well has the stock done in the past. You always want to know where they are business wise. We talked about AMC and where they were in their business. Not all that great. And then you want to ask, who is the CEO? Is this a new person? Did they switch people? Where did that person come from? Because some CEOs move from company to company. If I had a company that had Blockbuster CEO, I'm probably not going to do that because you probably haven't made great decisions, right? If you told me that you were the person that is the CEO of AMC and you're doing something different and you become CEO of something else, I'm going to look at you a bit different. So it all depends on who that person is, what is their history, and what have they done in the past. You gotta make those judgment calls on your own. But these are boxes to check that aren't always numerical. I can tell you that Tesla made, I don't know, 1,100% over the past 10 years. That's amazing, but it doesn't tell you the ups and downs. And again, not every stock has to be a home run, and not all profit is good profit. I mean, honestly, you take that how you want, but not every stock that goes up is one that you actually want to be on the ride for. And that doesn't mean it went up in a straight line. It could have just popped at the last minute, or it could have peaked a long time ago and just has nothing since. So these are all things that you want to be aware of. So I'll stick around, see if we have any questions. I do have one. So if you have it, you think it should be sold. So great question. So if you already have Tesla, should you sell it? That really depends on how you feel as an investor. So if I've already made a significant profit, and this is me personally, this is not advice to specific people. If I've already had it and I'm not feeling great about it and I've made a decent amount, then yeah. If I bought it yesterday, I don't know. I kind of want to get my profit before I go. So again, if I've made money already, then I'll probably sell all of it and just go to something that's a little more predictable, probably has a better outlook. If I just bought into it, I want to, kind of get something out before I go. But again, you don't have to. I don't know where it's going to go. I know Tesla. We can go here. Let's see. 10 to 700s. So 717 is where it closed before it kind of went down a bit more. Will it ever go back to the 400s? I don't know. It's really, really hard to tell. My big thing, though, is regardless, this is one reason, this really two things. One reason why you kind of want to own index funds. So I can always have some stocks on the side, and that's fine. But owning index funds, I don't have to worry about what one company CEO said. It doesn't really matter to me. So I have to ask myself, should I buy, should I sell? It's like, hey, I own them all anyway. So that's one thing. The other thing is if you own individual stocks, which is also fine, you never want to have more than 5%, really want to get down to like 3, more than 5% one company, because you can make that decision to buy or sell and not really hurt you because you have 20 or 30 different stocks that can kind of support you and kind of balance that out. Yeah, he said this today. Yeah, this is today. This morning at 10:11 a.m. he said this. And again, like I said, it's not the first time he said something about it. Back here in August 2018, again, that video is on the Facebook page. You got to scroll back 2 years. But the first time, that's when it came to my mind. I'm like, ooh, I don't want Tesla. He's saying all these crazy. And actually, when he's that infamous video back in 2018, he was actually high at the time. So he's like, he was high. He said, I want 420 because I think it was 420, whatever it was. And that was just a red flag back then. So has the stock made money from 2018 and now? Yeah, it has. But again, is that a ride that you want to be a part of? And are you okay losing 11% in a day? That's a question that you're gonna have to answer. I can tell you 11% ain't normal, even in times like this. 11, unless it's a cruise line or something, 11% isn't normal. That's a big dip. You went from 760 to 717 if you owned it today. That's not a good look, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't think it's going down to 400 or anything, but again, they just check a lot of red flag boxes for me. Another thing, Tesla has not been profitable. They've been around since 2010. They actually have not been profitable, to my knowledge, yet. I don't invest in stuff that don't make money. And a lot of what I've seen from Tesla is a lot of hype. They think it's going to do this. They hope it's going to do this. Done it yet. So I just don't feel great about it. All right. More questions. Do you think the market overall will drop again, or do you think it is a good time to get in? That is a great question. My advice has always been the same. Always a good time to get in. It's just a matter of how you decide to get in. I think there will likely be a second wave of the coronavirus at some point because states are opening up and we ain't gotten no better at social distancing, or we never fixed the problem. A cure, cases hadn't really dropped off the way we need them to, and yet people are opening up like everything's okay. So there will be a second wave. Give it 2 weeks and we'll see. Now the question is, will the market react? Will the market continue to drop if there's a second wave? That I don't know, because the more used to this thing that we get, the more used to not physically going to work, the more we get used to like doing business without being face to face, so on and so forth. We may just get used to it and still find a way to be innovative. So I don't know if the market will continue to dip or not. I can tell you this, up until the last week or so, I need to recalculate. But about a few weeks ago, we were up 20% since March. So my approach is still the same. You should get in, but you should get in phases. So instead of saying tomorrow I'm gonna put in 1,000, or I'm gonna wait until the market drops again, I'm gonna put in 1,000. That's time in the market. We don't know if it's going to be a second wave. We don't know if it's going to be a third wave. We don't know anything about where it's going. So the best I would suggest is, say, if you want to put in 1,000 or whatever it is, do it over phases. $1,000 a month or $100 a month or whatever it is. Split that out over time, and if the market dips, you're gonna get a profit. If it dip and go higher, you're getting in at the low point and you're continuously going as the market goes up. That's the best way to go about it. And it's really hard to lose that way, because if the market goes down and you're doing it every month, you're going to get it on the downside. If the market goes up, you're getting at a cheaper rate because it's going to break everything out and say, instead of trying to time it correctly, put in whatever you're going to put in, but make it a monthly contribution, a monthly amount, and just be consistent with that, as opposed to trying to pick the right time. Yeah, I bought it before your class. Yeah, I mean, it happens. Again, you still would have made money in some, some instance, but these are just things that I tend to look at, which I'm a big person of starting and being consistent, but also avoiding big losses. And you're not going to be perfect, but not doing this helped me to avoid the stress of like, oh my God, I lost 11% in a day, versus, Walmart CEO, or whomever that person is, has been relatively consistent. All right, so I'll take a few more questions before I hop off, and then I'm going to jump to Instagram. For the event, it is only $25 for those who are early birds. But I'm going to show you how to build your wealth from the bottom up. This is buildingbread.com/wealth. Show you how. I'm going to give you a few companies to build generational wealth with, and show you how that actually works. So if you're looking for, I've had people ask me, like, what's the best stock for my kids? Well, you sign up, you get the recording. If you can't make it live, I'm going to show you a few things that might work for you. I'm going to show you to how to avoid some big legacy mistakes and show you how you can pass your wealth forward. Even if you feel like you don't have enough, there are ways to really generate wealth, pass it forward, and make sure that they can carry the torch from what you've done and further. So it's a very, very important lesson to learn, especially for us. So make sure you sign up. There are just a few early bird tickets left. So it's buildingbread.com/well. Only $25 for early bird. It goes up to like $35 if you're not within the first few. So make sure you sign up. Make sure you share this video. I appreciate you guys for coming out. And we'll see you on Monday, because we're here Monday through Fridays, 9 Central. Around 9 Central. Sometimes it's 9:05. But thank you guys for coming out. I will see you on Monday, and I'll talk to you later.